All right, looks like we are live in the groups and good to go. Righty, good evening, everyone. This is Brody from Outperform Fitness, and welcome to tonight's career chat, where we're going to be chatting to Savannah, and we're going to be talking all about her career so far in the Army as an MP. So that's the military police for anyone that doesn't know. So thanks to everyone that's joining in live. I can see some little eyes jumping on there. So yeah, thanks for joining in live and watching. If you do have any questions while we're going, just feel free to leave them in the comment section. We'll answer them live for you. But if you are watching this in replay and you have questions, again, feel free to leave them in the comment section and we'll jump in there later on and answer them for you. All right, so I met Savannah through my Battle Ready program, and we've kept in touch throughout her entire enlistment and her career up to this point. So the big thing is, when Savannah very first started with me, she could not even do a single push-up. But by the time it came to her PFA and her enlistment, she was banging out 20 easy reps. So that was awesome to see. So if you do need help with your fitness leading up to your enlistment, then feel free to check out the link in the description to my Battle Ready program, or simply just reach out to me with a private message and we'll try to sort something out for you. Alrighty, let's bring Savannah in here. Savannah, welcome to your career chat. You've seen plenty on the other end and now you're the one getting interviewed. So thanks for joining.
Happy to help people.
Awesome. Yeah, I've seen plenty of times you're sending some messages and helping people out through the recruit forums through Facebook. So yeah, I thought I'd finally grab you and get you on here because you're a little bit into your career now, so it'll be a really interesting time to have a bit of a chat with you rather than we do a lot of enlistment stuff. So we will go over that a little bit with this chat through her enlistment and basic training and IETs, but the main thing is like that IETs part and also her career, as an MP, because it seems like this is a pretty sought after one, and a lot of people are really interested in this. Like, what's it really like to be an MP? Because people don't know. Is it bad? Is it good? Yeah. All right. So, a bit of an intro on yourself. So, where are you from originally?
So I'm from a place called Pottsville. So it's about I say Byron Bay because not many people know where Pottsville is. A little beachy town. Since I was probably about 9 and been there up until I moved away for the army. So a long time.
So you moved from your hometown straight to the army, and you're full-time, full-time army? Yeah. So army is your family now. It is your home.
All I know.
Yeah. And we'll get into sort of postings and where it's available for you to go and all that sort of stuff down the track a little bit. But so when did you actually enlist?
So I enlisted in 2021. So about a year and a half ago now.
Yeah.
Seems like only
yesterday. Yeah. Awesome. So it's been a while. But that time definitely flies when you're going through all the training and all that sort of stuff. Like before you know it, you're in a couple of years, and like you look at the Rosso side of things a lot of the time, like the return of service, and you're like, shit, that's such a long time, like 4 years, 6 years, whatever it is for you. And it flies by with all your training and everything.
I'll be halfway through my Rosso in August this year.
Yeah.
So like that's.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so the way we're going to work this is I'll go through and answer I'll ask a few questions of my own and just go through, a bit of your story so far. And then, if anyone's got any questions while they're watching this live, then we'll jump in the comment section at the end and answer any sort of questions that they've got. All right, so very first thing to get out of the way, so with enlistment side of things, so just a bit of inspiration for others that were in the same position as you. Just explain where your fitness actually was before you decided to reach out for a little bit of help and you decided you actually wanted to join the Defence Force.
So probably about a year before I actually enlisted was when I first started getting into. Never really been into a gym. I played a lot of sport like hockey growing up, but weights like running. I didn't didn't really know much. So I kind of actually originally started by writing workouts on a piece of paper, and I just decided to go. And then I 6 days a week. I did a lot of weights, didn't really like running. And then 6 months in that I think I got in contact with you about the Battle Ready program. It was when I was considering enlisting, and I thought, I'm going to need help because I don't know what I need to be, so I'll get help off someone who actually knows. And honestly, the 12-week, worth it. I went from not being able to do a push-up to being able to do 20-plus push-ups by the end of the 12 weeks. And literally within a month, I was doing 6 push-ups. So it literally comes down to that considering and just having someone with the knowledge to be able to guide you to get where you need. Like I got to a point where I was doing a 9.5 beat test, which I could never have imagined because I was never a cardio person. I hated cardio. But doing that all the way up until my enlistment day, obviously went to my PFA, passed that, and then felt fairly comfortable going into Kapuka. So yeah, it was I'm glad I started to enlist earlier, but I knew I wasn't at the point where I wanted to be in terms of my fitness. Probably enlisted a couple of months earlier, but the fact is that like I wouldn't have been glad that I waited until I was ready and felt that I was ready enough to be able to go into clear. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you saying to me, it's like, look, let's get training, and when you think I'm ready, let me know, and I'll put in the I'll put in the paperwork. And I remember you putting in that paperwork, and it was just fast sailing straight through. You were really surprised.
From the time I put in my U session, time I did my U session to the time which was extremely fast.
How long was it? Sorry, it cut out a little bit. How long? 4 weeks. Yeah. I remember it being really quick. That's what happens with those priority roles. You'll let it go through them pretty quick. Okay, so how come you decided to join the army?
Well, I kind of been looking at the army for a while, but when I first originally went to join the Defence Force, I actually first went to join. But when I did my assessment day, they told me that I was still in year 12 when I first applied. Go and get more life experience and kind of grow up. I left there crying, so I was not ready. I was like, no, this is not. And then I rethought the idea in 2021, and I was like, I like fitness, like being active, and also like the benefits of the army, like the lifestyle, the job security, and also like the friends and the family that you make, like my work, and that is probably the same for civilian jobs out there, but I know that like my good every day. And you just don't get to do these kind of things in the outside. So that kind of pushed me to do it. And I thought, you know what? I want to do some sort of police thing. So I just went for it.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And was police always your first choice?
Yes, it was. I had police as my first choice, combat engineers as my second, and
yeah. Oh well, happy days. You got your first one, and I remember you saying you wanted to move along into sort of the canine area right from the start, like you had that idea right from the start. Yeah. All right. So let's get into basic training. So did you find basic training challenging, as challenging as what you expected?
Yes, I did. Experience Kapuka is very different. I passed the PFA, and I was definitely there fitness wise, but I did find a lot of especially when it come to learning the combat PT, like the body armor, the weapon. I put in 110% every time, which is what you got to do because you will get. But yeah, I found a lot of it challenging, a lot of it mentally challenging. Like it pushes you further than anything civilian wise can. I remember some days, God, I just want this to be over. I just want it to be done. But that's what they do. They break you down, create the soldier that you are at the end. So it's all worth it. Come that you realize you actually like. I actually miss some of my friends I made in Kapuka because I don't like Kapuka. You make lifelong friends that you'll always keep in touch with. I'm sure you still have people from like it's good, but it definitely was really challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. There's so many different stories that come out of Kapuka, with it being challenging or not. And yeah, like, many different factors can play a role in it as well. Your staff, the weather, all that sort of stuff. So how well you're picking things up, whether you've had experience in that sort of stuff before, whether you've got your fitness up to a certain level. There's so many different stresses that it hit you.
Natural. I was not a natural. I had to work very hard.
Yeah.
The combat stuff, like, or some of the guys and that were just naturals at it a little bit harder, which I don't mind because even now, like, everyone's different and some people are, but for me, it was definitely challenging, but it was so worth the challenge.
Yeah. Awesome. So what was is that pretty much the most rewarding thing, is that, it was a big challenge and that you got through it, or is there something that really stands out for you that was actually rewarding doing it?
I think the fact that I got through army basic training is something back to myself 5 years ago. I would never have thought that I'd be right here. I even be able to go through basic training.
Yeah.
And there were obstacles, like, a lot of niggles, injury-wise, but I got through them. And then myself being here. So, yeah, I think definitely finishing Kapuka, I'll always remember that. I'll be able to remember forever, I think. Definitely.
Awesome. All right, let's get on to basic training. So, whereabouts is it? Sorry, not basic training, IET. So, yeah, your initial employment training. So, where is it, and how long do you go for?
Yep. So the name of the base is just going out of my head. I'll think of it, but it's a Holsworthy base. It goes for about 20 weeks. I think they've shortened it a week though. From my memory, I've got a moment. So mine was about 5-6 months. But once again, goes like that. 1 minute you're starting, the next minute you're marching out, getting your unit.
Yeah. Yeah. So Holsworthy, and you ran into Fred, a good friend of mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Fred Saab. Actually, one afternoon when we were learning some OST, which I talk about once we asked it, but he was running some after class lessons for us, and he saw me wearing like, "Oh, you train with Brody?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, Brody's my mate." And he had a good chat about it, but very knowledgeable.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went hiking, and then he turned up and he's like, "Hey, I met someone that knows you." All right, so still on IETs. What's IETs like compared to Kapuka?
So obviously Kapuka is full of, it's real soon, you don't get much time to think. You barely know what the time is or the day is, let alone you don't get weekends, like of you just got to learn to trust your instructors. And just IETs, you get a bit more freedom. You get the weekends off. You get to go off base. You can go drive to the shops. You can actually do stuff out of work hours. So you might start at 7 or 4, but you can actually have a life. There's still that element of control, training establishment, but it's definitely a lot more freedom. Some people find having that much freedom, especially going straight from Kapuka to IETs, very weird for myself and a couple of my mates who are currently studying now, that they said the shock thing for themselves is quite a lot to deal with after having 3 months of people for you and telling you what to do, where to do it. And then you go to having to actually, which it takes an adjustment, but 100% better. You actually get to learn the trade and the job to do.
Yeah.
And that's when you find out if you're really going to enjoy it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, you're finally doing all the stuff that you actually signed up for. So yeah, not going into too much detail or anything, but yeah, what sort of things do you learn as an MP on IETs?
I'll do a quick, short summary, as best I can, from the start to the finish. See how much. So your week one of MP training is kind of when you just get comfortable with so you'll touch base into like the DFDA, all your basic kind of legislation, basic laws, basic rights, stuff like that. You'll start learning. You get the 9mm pistol qual at AT, so you'll start learning that. Your second week you'll go over your powers of arrest, search and seizures, all that quick policing. You'll probably get a quick run over of the kind of stuff that we carry around, handcuffs, stuff like that. Week 3 is where it starts to get your operational safety training, which is your OST. They use that. We learn the same police officers do. And Fred Saba, being civilian police, he helps run the course. Basically, it's tech we learn to defend ourselves as policemen and basically help us learn how to arrest people, correct levels of use of force, when to use our accoutrements on our belt, how to escalate situations like that. So pretty much your whole basis of physical policing, a couple of levels of that. That gets very, very full on. I know it was very nerve-wracking, but once you're confident in yourself, you're fun. Week 4 and 5, going over legislation. You'll do a BFA somewhere in week 2, I think. Don't forget about all of us. Stuck the BFA in there. They're like, yep, here you go. I know towards about 4 months MP field. So you learn about your field MPs do, which I can go into more detail once we talk about the units. You do essentially. So that's like your final test. So that's about a week. You'll do your basic attack, stuff like that. You'll do pickets. You'll do all that kind of mad stuff. You'll apply a bit more of MP kind of field into it. But yeah, it's all I can remember at the top of my head at the moment. Answer more questions if people do have them, and I can actually think about it.
Yeah, sweet. That's a pretty good run through of it. Hey, can you jump up and just walk out a little bit and see if you can get, I don't know, like, I know you said you had good reception before, but it is cutting out a little bit. I'm not sure whether it'll help if you're just out a little bit. I don't know if it's just me. Hopefully it is just me, but just
I don't know. Is that any different?
Yeah, that seems better. Yeah, might just be getting some interference or something there. All right. So yeah, let's move on to your actual your current career as an MP now. So when you march out of IETs, are you fully qualified as an MP? Because I know as a mechanic, when we march out, we have to do like out of IETs, we're still actually a part of that training establishment, and we have to do on the job training and stuff. Do you have stuff like that for yourself?
No. So once we march out of IETs, I marched out in June last year. So I was a 6 march out in June. Also could depend. You could start in the June course and march out December. Your Christmas leave, Christmas holidays before you start. Go to your unit. I just lost my train of thought. What did you ask?
Yeah. So are you qualified when you're out?
Yes, you are. So you're a private once you leave Kapuka, but you're a fully qualified MP. Once you march out of a 12-month, they call it probationary period, but it's pretty much you're not private until 12 months has passed of you being a private, like a fully qualified private.
Yeah.
As MPs, we have to complete a competency logbook. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. Call it. It's basically a booklet of all quizzes and assessments, which you have 12 months to complete. See, as an MP. So obviously you'll do this at your unit to help you through it. But that P, which also allows you to get a pay upgrade. So it helps. Yeah.
It's always good, isn't it? Yeah, that's what we're always.
Yeah.
I remember chasing stuff like that, specialist courses and whatnot, to just go up that little bit extra pay each year. It was good.
Yeah.
So how long is your Rosso? So is your Rosso 4 years? Is it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
4 years. So you're nearly halfway through. Mm-hmm. I bet you're loving that. Are you planning on keeping this career as an actual, extended career, or what's your sort of plan with that?
I to get a fair bit out of it. I'd like to promote up the ranks a bit. The path I do plan to go down, I hope to get up to at least corporal. Then if I'm happy, something else comes up and I've had enough, I'll happily change careers. But I kind of want to go down the policing path anyway. It'll be into the civilian police. But I'm hoping to get, if I was to give it rough years at the moment, but we'll see how it goes. I think army's one of those things where you just gotta, it's just like do it until you don't love it.
Yeah.
And some people stay in for 20 plus years and some only do their 4 years. And it's like, nah. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, some people, like it's a lifelong thing. Like I've known some people that did forever. Like that's what they've done from, 19 or whenever they enlisted up until, their retirement. It's all they did. Yeah, it's crazy. And that's the thing, you do have that progression, going up in ranks, doing extra specialist courses. You can even switch trades if you want to as well. There's just such a broad range of opportunities that you can do throughout the Defence Force. And
that's right.
All right.
But even I know I wouldn't know, and I've only been in for like a year and a half. So I've already adjusted.
Yeah. So what's sort of the female to male ratio with MPs? Is it male dominant or is it pretty evenly split?
Or only about 60-40. So 40 being female, 60 being male.
Yeah.
I could, from who I've been around, it seems like there probably is maybe a little bit more male equal. Like it's not like some trades, like it's very equal in terms of male and female, and there are more females come. Good to see.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. What do you do on a daily basis? Like what's a typical day for you?
Well, I've kind of seen both sides. So I went straight to IETs, which is Field MP. I'm now posted down at Kapuka, where I'm in. So your Joint Military Police Station. So I'm your barracks MP, the one that everyone complains on 42 and the 40. But no, so at the moment, because with a knee injury, I'm doing a lot of the investigation side of things. So I'm in the office behind the desk, basically going through all the procedures for people who make mistakes. My day-to-day life, I will get up early in the morning. I'll go to the gym. So we don't do any group PT in JMP. We just do it on our own accord. Do that until 8:30. I'll get to work at about 9, have some breakfast for the day, and then off I go till about 4 o'clock. So it's pretty crazy. My day could change at the moment. It's pretty set. Like I'm just running through investigations, if anyone with it. So I'm the deskie for the time being.
Yeah, sounds pretty cruisy. Sounds like a good job at the moment.
It's mentally challenging. Like there's a lot to think about. It's definitely not like battalion where it was physically go.
Yeah, bit of a step back from that, but a little bit more responsibility with actually being qualified and stuff as well too.
Yeah.
All right, now do you guys do you just go on exercises? So because we always, throughout the year, you got exercise, Talented Sabre, Hemel, all that sort of stuff. Do you guys have to rock up to that sort of thing as well?
Especially as a field MP, which is where everyone will go after IETs. So in a JMPU straight away, it wouldn't get your hopes up. So you go to a battalion. We are constantly attached to infantry units, armoured, artillery. We're constantly all the time. We are always there. We are everywhere. Even my mission, we do big exercises such as Talented Sabre, Pitch Black, all that kind of stuff. We'll do people. We don't do too much. We don't go out into the middle of the bush and sleep under a. We'll do a lot of like the traffic control and stuff. But yeah, we're definitely out doing field exercises. If you're going to go to battalion, be an MP, you're going to do a lot of field.
Yeah. So, but you wouldn't be sleeping outfield with the guys is it because I heard you say the term field MP. Are you actually outfield under hoochies and stuff as well?
Yeah. Yes, attached to.
Yeah.
If you're attached to a grunt section or a grunt, infantry platoon, you're going to be sleeping where they sleep, doing what they do. On our recent our MP section that was attached to a infantry route for 3 weeks. They had no showers, no toilets. They slept under hood over 20 kilometres a day. So it depends if you're lucky enough to be a combat team, that's what you're going to be doing. If you were like me, we were manning an IC prison. We didn't do that. We just stayed in one spot and we slept on stretchers. So what kind of task you're actually given and who you're with, because that's what we do. We do a lot of work a lot of the time.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to know. You have to get out and do some field as well.
Yeah. Oh, we do.
some of the unlucky ones.
I think it's a good experience. So like you should always go out and do it rough and tough in field, because at the end of the day, that's what you are. You're a soldier. So
yeah. Well, on that same note, is there much of an opportunity for you guys to do deployments?
One MP battalion we recently sent. We had a couple of guys from my IET, so we marched here for reference. In September last year, they went over to the Middle East on so with like Navy, Air Force, all that kind of stuff. They come back in December. The deployments in battalion. I think it's right place, right time. But yeah, attached to all the infantry battalions as well. So if they're going somewhere, more than likely there's an MP section attached.
Yeah.
So we are more spread than what people think, and it's good to kind of get that knowledge out. Nothing. We are very productive in the defence force.
Yeah. It's you sort of just hide away and no one really sees you until we're in trouble. What sort of job opportunities are there, like specializing into certain jobs? So what sort of avenues can you stream into?
Yeah, right. So you've got your close personal protection operative. That's kind of your VIP protection of like extra combat type stuff. That's kind of seems to be everyone leans towards. Which your canine, also very popular one. You're obviously working with a dog all the time. You do a lot of field. If you want to do lots of field, be outdoors, and also enjoy your fitness tests that you have to get for close personal protection operative and canine, or ADF investigator, who not a combat role. The investigation side of things, you actually promote to corporal after doing your investigator course. 3 are the specializations within MP.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So, like career-wise for you, what's on the cards for you? Like, how many years have you got posted down at Kapuka, and what's the plan for your courses side of things? So, have you got anything in the works? What's your plan?
Yep. So I'll be posted down here for technically posted to Rough Base Wagga, but I work out of Kapuka and with the Air Force Recruit School and the Army Recruit School, so I get to see a bit of as well. I originally was planning to go K9, but I had a instruction about 4 months ago, so I am in the process of recovering from that. I'm doing a bit more of investigations, which I really have found I enjoy, and I'm a stream that I'm looking towards now for the next couple of years. So whether I specialise in that next, but at the moment for me it's all about rehab, which I do a lot of, waiting again and getting back to pretty much ready status and patrol and do the full extent to my job. Now I'm doing stuff that I'm learning, but I want to be able to be back doing everything and not have any limits.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so getting you back in action and no problems happening. Yeah, that's obviously the end goal for everyone to stay as healthy as possible for as long as possible. And
that's correct.
Yeah, spend the time to get that rehab and you'll be in a much better spot.
Yes, very important.
So do you have any advice for any others that are going for the same sort of career as you, that are maybe, just starting out, at that position of thinking of putting in the paperwork to go MP? Have you got any sort of advice for those people to get themselves ready, or things that that are just handy to know along the way?
So you mean basically like Kapuka specific as well, or
Yeah, anything. Yeah.
my probably give when you're thinking about enlisting is make sure you're prepared. That is as everyone's, it's my number one tip. Who didn't prepare beforehand crumble in the physical training, and that is the reason why they have these standards, is so that you don't injure yourself. And I watched so many people, they couldn't keep up with the training. Physically, that is probably should be your number. Get with a trainer, get that to that level. Also, you want to be by that is everyone's going to tell you all these different things about Kapuka. Kapuka's this, Kapuka's that. You got to go in there with an open mind. It's not, honestly, you can't give a crap. Say you got to go in there and make your own experience. That was my biggest thing, because if I listened to everyone, I went in there and I was like, oh, and I was expecting different things to what I actually got. So go in just wanting to put in 110% effort. Everything's so silly. 110% effort all the time. Show that motivation that you want to be there. But at the end of the day, you just got to push through. It's 3 months of your career, and it's there to get tested, and it's going to be shit, and it's probably going to be times when some people might cry, some people might hate that. At the end of the day, it's only 3 months, and the day you march out and they give you a private tab and they're like, here, you're 100% rewarding. So that's for Kapuka. In terms of I'd think about the reasons why I want to become an MP. We are held less standard than most corps, in terms of the fact that if we want to for things, then we can't have double standards, right? So we've got to make sure the highest of standards. What else? Physical fit might sound silly being an MP, but going into a battalion, that's something that they warned us about in IETs. Keep up with that training, keep up with that fitness, make sure you can easily pass a BFA, because we were doing battalion, and if you didn't pass one, remedial training for you.
Yeah.
Training as well, like your pack marches, stuff like that. Your PESA chat as well into your training. We were doing combat PESAs in one of people. We were doing combat PESAs. You didn't have to pass them, but we were attempting them. Stuff like in terms of going into IETs as well for MPs, I'd be ready to be met as an MP, a lot to remember. You're never going to remember it all. Same thing, be ready to learn, ask questions, ask thousands of questions. That's how you learn, because the people there are filled with knowledge. That's why they're chosen to go to the school. It's going to be their job is to teach you and help you become the best MP you can be. And you're going to make a lot of them. It's how you learn. Even people that have been in for 10, and yeah, some of them might make you feel silly, and some of them might make you feel like, oh, maybe I'm not going to be good. The more mistakes you make, the better, because you'll learn and you'll be like, okay, I'm not doing that again, or I'll do it this way. But that's overall at the moment that they're my probably biggest ones.
Yeah, awesome. No, that's really good. And yeah, like big one, yeah, going in with an open mind. Don't expect, with Kapuka, like you were saying, like everyone's experience is going to be completely different. Some people could tell you one thing and then you turn up and it's a completely different story. You're going to be on the back foot, like the back step straight away, just because, you obviously thought it was going to be a different way down there. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll just check if there's any comments any questions whatsoever. No, it looks like we're pretty good. I think we covered a lot of stuff just then. I think you definitely would have answered a lot of questions for people that were probably watching anyway. And yeah, they were probably thinking of writing it down, and then you answered it for them anyway. So yeah, thank you so much for turning up to this. Again, you're taking time out of your day, out of your afternoon. You didn't have to do this, but you're going out of your way to give people this information just so they can make a smarter choice for whether they actually want to go down that career stream or not. And so yeah, it's good just giving them that little bit of extra information. So thanks heaps for sharing it. And thank you anyone that jumped on board and watched it live. Again, as always, you can just follow me on everything. There's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything. Just look for Outperform Fitness and you'll see my little logo there. Just check out all the free content that I'll put out there. And again, if you are getting ready for enlistment and you want that little bit extra help with your fitness, check out the link in the description for the Battle Ready program so I can help you out, or just reach out to me through a private message. But again, thank you so much, Savannah, for turning up tonight. Good luck with your career, and we'll definitely stay in touch.
Thank you. Happy to help and send them my way.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too. Thank you, guys.
See ya.